Hey, it's Gavin with Atlas CFO, and today we're talking about when to add software and when to replace it for construction contractors. I'm the head of the new division here where we automate and streamline the back office so that you can scale without adding staff. And this is kind of a big one of when do we, add software versus when are we trying to replace our current one? Like, can we bolt on some new stuff that adds some extra functionality? And so we're going to be talking about all that in this video right here. So first of all, here's the kind of the short answer of when to add or replace. So we add when we're missing a functionality and can integrate with our current tech stack. This is for complementary functions. But we replace when our current software cannot scale or integrate. So this is like a foundational thing, especially for anchor software. And I have a whole video on that. I'll try and link it up in the top right. But this is whenever we have our anchor software, you kind of think of it as the hub and spoke. So like the accounting software, for instance, if all of our other accounting, add-ons like AP automation, our credit cards, all that stuff, if our ERP, our accounting software cannot integrate with those, that's kind of a foundational problem, and we kind of just have to swap our ERP, our accounting software. QuickBooks is another one. Eventually, you just kind of outgrow QuickBooks, and you just have to swap, right? And so that's whenever whenever the foundational piece is just not working and everything else is breaking, or everything is breaking as a part of it, and there's just going to be too many band-aid fixes, then that's when you look at swapping that one. Okay, so first, what functionality are we looking at trying to get? So it's useful to think about this as software is used to streamline a process in some way. And so there's kind of two ends of the spectrum, which is one, it's completely automated. And so this is usually for stuff like data transfer. So if we're moving data from the project management software to the accounting software, usually that can be done completely automatically. There's, a person doesn't need to review it or anything like that. It's just done automatically. On the other side of the spectrum is software basically just adds guardrails to whatever process we're trying to do. So as an example, theoretically, you could run your entire accounting, software stack with just Excel spreadsheets. You could run all of your accounting just through that. Obviously, that would be terrible. It would not be very good. And so that's where something like, I'll use QuickBooks as an example because, almost all the contractors that we've talked to started with QuickBooks, and then they upgraded to something else. So QuickBooks is kind of a common one to understand. But as an example, if QuickBooks is basically a spreadsheet backend with a very fancy user interface, and that user interface locks us into doing certain tasks. And so we have to put, as an example, all of our invoices have to go over here. All of our, invoices going out, our AR goes over here, that kind of stuff. And so this kind of adds, like I was saying, it adds guardrails and streamlines it in that process where we're not so freeform that our database becomes a mess. And so those are kind of the two opposite ends where we still have to do the work manually, but it helps us to kind of guide us and keep us in our right lane. And the other side is it completely automates it. Either way, it's still a functionality that we're trying to get out of the software. And so it's useful to keep that in mind of, hey, this is a process, this is some kind of specific functionality we're trying to get out of the software. And so we want to make sure you go in with a plan because it's possible your current software stack is perfectly fine. And so if we can just, go in with a plan of say, okay, we know that we are going for this very particular feature, it makes everything so much easier because instead of saying, I want my materials to be better, just as a very amorphous, large plan, that, that could be anything from an entirely new materials platform to, a bunch of current features that we already have in our software. And so if we can go and say, okay, actually, I don't really care about the entire materials process, but my field team needs to be able to send in materials requests in a, perhaps a separate, communication channel or whatever so that we can get to it easily and get to it faster. That's really all we need. And so if you determine that, you can say, okay, actually, we don't need any of this other stuff. We can go ahead and just find that one particular thing. On the other side of this is it's possible that we don't even need any kind of process or software at all for this. So, again, step one is to just go ahead and understand what functionalities this process we're looking at streamlining and if we really need that. So you can possibly just save yourself a ton of headache by looking at this, say, do we really need to do this? Could we cut down some steps? And then, done. So step two is to then do a feature audit. And there's two ways of doing this. The first way is to just say, hey, we know what our functionality is. We really just need a single particular thing. And then go to whatever software you already have and say, hey, we need, let's go back to our materials example. We need an ability for our field guys to send in materials requests. It seems like something that you guys would do. Can you do it? And I'm sure you have contacts at the company that you can go ahead and ask or support or something like that. just to go ahead and double check. And so once we understand our functionality, it's time to go ahead and do a feature audit of our current software, because you probably have a bunch of software, and some of those can have dozens of features, maybe more, maybe less, but a lot of them have a lot of features. And so again, if we're doing it very targeted, we know that we only need this very particular materials thing, and we're not going to need anything else for the foreseeable future. We can just do that targeted thing. Otherwise, if we are building something that is, let's say we have a bunch of different things that we're trying to build out here in our tech stack. We have a bunch of different features and processes that we're missing. Then we can go ahead and do this where we audit and do a feature audit for every single software and map it all out all at once. That way we have it, and we can go ahead and do a very overall, big plan and get everything all at once. So then step number 3 is to look at what functions we're missing. So we want to go ahead and we've already plotted out all of the features. Again, if we're doing a very targeted way, we don't need it, we can go ahead and skip this step. Where if we're just reaching out and say, hey, we know we only need this materials request feature, we can skip this step. But otherwise, if we're trying to build bigger mapping and see everything all at once, then step 3 is to go ahead and plot out the features that are missing that you need. And then integration counts for one of these. So it's possible the feature you're missing is just integration. It's possible that our project management software does not talk to our ERP, and the only thing that we're missing is just integration. That can be a feature. It's possible we can get a bolt-on software for that, or we just need to go ahead and they have ways of talking to each other, and we just need to go ahead and do that. So a different example is accounting software has basic AP input functionality, but let's say you need AP automation. You're getting just swamped with invoices, and so we need some kind of AP automation that goes ahead and auto codes a lot of our invoices, and again takes care of some of that just gigantic volume that we are seeing for invoices. So that's one of our gaps. So now that we know that that is one of the gaps, we can go ahead and look for solutions that integrate with our current ERP accounting software, so that it goes ahead and fits in with the overall tech stack, and then continue on from there. So when do we replace? When do we actually just go ahead and replace software as opposed to adding it? So if there are too many gaps that should be filled by one software, then it's time to replace. If the anchor software doesn't integrate at all, it's usually time to replace. And if the system can't handle the volume you're doing, so a super basic example that most people run into is QuickBooks can't handle the specific volume you're doing, and especially in construction, it's not made for construction, then it's time to replace. And so these are really the only 3 times that you would necessarily need to replace stuff. Otherwise, you can usually find some kind of add-on ability or software, especially if it's like an ERP. Let's say you have Foundation as your accounting software, and you need some kind of AP integration, some kind of credit card integration, right? Those are things that you don't have to replace the software for that. Those are bolt-on things that you can do. So these are really the only 3 times that we see that you need to replace it. Otherwise, you can go ahead and go through and find out what exactly it is that you need to add on, and then go through those steps that we talked about earlier. So if you want the easy way to map your processes, we built a 1-hour contractor tech plan. So with it, you can map out all your processes and integrations and tech in one place and determine the gaps that you have for go ahead and pulling the biggest levers to automate your back office. And so if you are interested in that, if you'd like to check it out, you can go to atlascfo.com/automate, or the link is in the top of the description. It's completely free. And either way, I hope this is helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.